Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another Veve and Ecomi video, man. And this one, we're going to be going over this video with Rhys. It actually has taps and the homie POORMAN. The homie POORMAN's checking it out, but it's a really, really good video. It talks about some of the utility. If you don't understand why the price of Omi and things like that isn't moving, I can do a video on that. I can explain that a little bit better for you all, because there's a lot of people who thinks that the token should be moving. A lot of FOMO is happening right now because all these other crypto projects are just like, they're blowing up, they're going up. And yeah, it's like Omi has not seen any substantial growth. And people have to understand why that's the case. So if you want me to make a video on that, I can. I've made a few videos on it before, but nothing has changed. The Omi should not be moving. Omi should not be moving. There's not a reason for it to see this explosive growth that other crypto projects see. There's every reason for it not to, actually. But yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Let me know if you would like me to speak on that a little bit more. But let's actually talk about what's going to make this one of the best investments on the planet. Like, we're going to talk about some of the token utility that's coming directly from Rhys himself. So yeah, shout out to the homie Rhys. Shout out to Taps. Get well, bro. I know he's been active on Twitter. My man's been active on Twitter. So yeah, hopefully he's recovering really, really good. Getting back 100% to 100%. And yeah, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And yeah, let's get into it. Shout out to the homie POORMAN too. Subscribe to the homie POORMAN.
But is there any more timeline info around more of what the Omi token utility, whether it's Omi to NFT or staking via master collector program?
There's no, I can't put a timeline on it, right? The move to immutable has to come first. And just to give some people some context there, as Michael, our CTO, was mapping it out, he kind of said, all right, well, we could build it now and it might take us 8 weeks to build, test, implement, which is pretty well exactly the time we were planning to move to immutable. And then we would have to rebuild it all anyway, right? So the call was made to move to immutable.
Right.
Now, just to give you some context, I guess an update on that, that's about 90% of the way through development. It's going into stages of heavy testing now. So, I mean, at this stage, we're on track for probably the end of the month, if all goes well, right? And I just need to reiterate that we're dealing with people's money.
That's a key point that I'm going to touch on in another video. This video, I don't really want to make it about why Omi prices are moving, but keep that in mind. What he just said.
We're dealing with people's assets. We're picking up a huge app now and moving it, and literally, changing the underlying technology of that thing. So the testing will take as long as it takes, but they've been, the devs have been working hard to get it there. I will also add, and a big congratulations to Michael, but he's only a few weeks out from having his first child, which understandably,
congratulations, Michael,
may cause some delays. So, if that's the case, that's the case, right? But it's coming. It's on the way there. Now, in terms of Omi utility, once that happens, then we can start to build in Omi direct to NFT. And obviously staking as master collector, wherever that is in the development pipeline. I'm not going to confirm that these features are coming. These are just things that people in the community have suggested, things that I really like, like really cool abilities. Someone suggested the other day that, maybe you could burn some Omi to have your market listing featured at the top of the page, right? I think that's a great idea. Really cool way to go about it.
That would actually be sick. I think a lot of people would do that. A lot of people who want to actually sell certain collectibles and bring it to people's attention. I think a lot of people would use that as a great form of promotion. So yeah, that would be fire. And that is something that I feel like a lot of people would use, especially the high rollers. Like the high rollers would definitely do it if you have good mints and things like that, which a lot of them will, since they go and target those specifically. So yeah, that would be huge.
So,
that is a great idea. I mean, could you think about how many Omi tokens would be burned just to, get your market listing first where everybody can see it and possibly buy that one, just have first take on it? I mean, there's so many things that you could do with the utility of the Omi token. It's unreal. And just like Rhys says, none of this is concrete implemented into what he's saying, but Rhys has a big influence on the team, so you can take it as will. I'd rather listen to him talk about tokenomics than anybody else, you know, other than David and Dan. Yeah, you can guarantee that it's moving in the right direction, especially when Rhys talks. It could possibly happen just the way he says it. So let's continue on, though.
We'll work towards things like that. Same as we always collect feedback from people. If people have ideas like that, I mean, send them our way, right? I would love to see, you know, maybe ahead of a drop, you can commit a certain amount of Omi tokens, almost in the same way that if you go for a airline upgrade, right? If you're flying somewhere, and you can say, well, I'll bid 20,000 points, and I might get an upgrade out of it, right? And you spend those points. Well, maybe you can bid 20,000 Omi, and there's 10 spots available, and whoever bids the most Omi gets early access to a drop, or something like that, you know. And,
I like it.
Right? Like, so when we say there's more utility, I mean, there's so many.
That would be sick. And you all see how these bids go. So bidding for early access to a drop, that would be huge. That would guarantee 10 people get the drop. And bidding on the collectibles goes up. Like, you imagine how many high rollers are going to be bidding just to ensure that they get the drop. And then if you think about it, it could still be cost effective, because if the drop goes to the secondary market, they're going to have to pay more anyway. So they might as well just pay that up front to guarantee that they're going to get the drop to begin with. So not bad.
Possibilities of things we can build in that supplement the collecting experience, but also utilize the token.
See, I like that too. Even though it kind of leans toward, you know, pay to play type deal. But if you think about it, play to pay in this situation is helping us as Omi holders completely destroy the Omi token. Burn it to the ground, baby. So I'm all for it. You know, there's other things that's going to happen. It's not just going to be like a pay to play tokenomic system that Veve/Ecomi is going to actually put into the Veve app. They're going to also do stuff like social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. They're going to implement all this into the Veve app. So, you know, hopefully where you got your phone and you're making a cool video like these guys do, like these really cool showrooms like Johnny Dunn has and everybody else. I mean, they put a lot of time into this stuff. But if they're making a TikTok and it's going viral, and the more stuff that they share on TikTok, the more stuff people share on Twitter, vice versa, Facebook, Instagram, all that's going to be implemented into the kind of the master collector type deal. So it's not going to be just play to pay. Okay, so let's listen and see what else he's got to say.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's a big deal, mainly because obviously the fact of the matter is we all are going to benefit from the Omi token being burned, but even in a situation like this, it's only a few people who get guaranteed first dibs. So it's not like everybody else. And then because the way that the system is set up, they could get first dibs and still all get horrible mints. All it guarantees you really is that you're going to get the drop. That's all it really guarantees you. It does not guarantee a mint, because the mints are still randomized. So you could be early and you could all get terrible mints. And then everybody that comes after, like, it's still going to have those enough people that can still, like, you know, it's still going to have, everybody else still going to have their fair shot. It's just going to be a little bit less available. But I mean, that's deserved because they're helping us burn Omi. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal, to be honest.
So we're definitely working towards those things and having a lot of conversations around them. I think one thing that's also important for people to remember is, you know, I know the token's a bit disconnected at the moment, right? It's because there isn't that utility.
Listen, like he's like it's gotten explained so many times at this point. Like, I don't know how people are still not getting it. Rhys himself has just said the token is disconnected. Like, it's everything that's supposed to be driving the price of Omi up doesn't exist, which means people are sitting here so mad and so upset that the token is not moving, when it is great that the token is where it's at right now. Realistically, the token should be at nothing. The token has no reason to go up. What's driving the token right now is the faith from the community, the faith from the investors. That's what's driving it. like people who have blind faith in the vision. And it's not really blind faith. We understand the vision, what's going to happen. And then Veve has proven, they've proven through Veve that they do what they say that they're going to do. So if they say they're going to get around to the token, we know that they will, because this is what they have proven. And Marvel believes in them. You have the Pokemon guy who believes in them. We have so many different people and so many different reasons to believe them and take them at their word. That's what's moving the price of Omi. That's what has the price of Omi going. And when you see these spikes up, understand that it's people trying to just take advantage of the FOMO. Like, it's people trying to take advantage of the FOMO. Like, when some good news comes out and the token jumps, I know everybody gets real happy, but it's that hype. It's really just like, it's traders and stuff buying in, trying to make some quick returns off the rumor, and then selling it when the news comes out. That's really all it is. People think that, oh, this is the time that it's going to explode. It's not. The time when you have to worry about it's about to explode is when they announce immutable and when they announce utility is coming. That's when we could see some real explosion, because then we have a reason to explode. But yeah, we'll dive more into this in a later video.
And that's correct. But it's about Veve, right? But they don't talk too much about the token. Hell, hardly no crypto people are in Omi. It's more of believers and can see the future of which way Omi is going to go. But yeah, the token it's like secondhand compared to everything else. But I'm cool with that, because we all know if Veve does good, Omi does good.
Completely fine. We all know that. But the bigger the Veve user base grows now, there will be a day where we switch on Omi transactions, and then you have 500,000 users, or however many people that have the app, that see this token appear, and wonder, well, what's that thing, and then we either walk them down the rabbit hole, or they dive down it themselves and learn about the token, right? And then you open ways to incentivize use of that token. So maybe there's items in the store that are exclusively available in Omi, right? So benefits people that already have it. But the long-term plan of the MTL would be to facilitate a purchase of that token. So if I'm a non-crypto user and I go into the market, for example, and I see a FA RISO only for sale in Omi, right? Whoever owns it has listed it. Well, I want to buy that thing, and the MTL will facilitate that purchase, even though I'm using US dollars, and they're receiving Omi. So somewhere in between, it would make a market purchase of the token and then exchange it for the collectible, right? Now that's down the line, admittedly. But everything we do is to try and streamline those transactions, and really marry the interaction between crypto and non-crypto users in the same place.
And this has been their goal from the beginning. Like, I think that this is pretty obvious to see. It's very, very obvious to see that this has been where they was going. They've said it so many times. I've made a ton of videos on it. I've made at least 20, 30 videos on this particular topic and how it's going to work. And like I said, it is always great hearing the team themselves come out and say this stuff, because they don't speak too much on the token. But if you hear the things that they said, like, they basically said what it is. And when people talk about how the token isn't moving and the token isn't doing this, token isn't doing that, all that's really saying is you don't really understand what's supposed to move the token. This is why I think that it's very, very important for people to get educated on what actually moves the Omi token, because it's not like people understand how this token works. Like, they're transparent. And I think that that's one of the biggest reasons that the token don't move. When it comes down to something like Dogecoin or there's always a hope that Elon tweet will come out. There's always a hope that some other catalyst is going to blow it up. With Omi, we know exactly what it takes to blow up Omi. Like, there's no guessing. There's no hoping like Cardano. People are hoping that it can compete with Ethereum. People are hoping that everything works perfectly and flawlessly. And it's a bunch of hopes and dreams. So as long as there's a ton of people hoping and believing in the project and believing something that could potentially be unrealistic, the chances of it going up is higher, because people have that faith. And Omi, you don't have to have faith. Yeah, you can have faith in the team and the project and stuff, but you don't have to have faith. You know exactly what moves the token. So when it comes down to crypto people investing, if you know utility moves the token and they have no utility, what the hell are you going to invest for? Invest in something that has a chance of moving. Omi has no chance of moving. So this is why the token doesn't move as much as other cryptos. But yeah, man, we'll definitely dive into that a little bit deeper, man. But I think that that's important.
So I mean, they're just a few examples, right, of potentialities and implementations that are on the table.
Well, those are exciting examples, and like the investor in all of us are like, when, like we want this yesterday, right? But that's a lot to navigate, like all those different pieces, hitting on both sides, having the ability on the crypto side as well as the ability to cash out gems. And I'm still a holder of XRP. It was the first thing I invested in back in 2018, and we saw what happened when you're not compliant. I am more than happy as an investor long term that you guys take as much time as possible to figure this out, so that way it isn't going to blow up later down the line, right? So I think you guys are definitely approaching it the right way. It's just the the investor and all of us who are like, oh, we want it to go to 50 cents, 20 cents or whatever, tomorrow. But long-term vision, it makes a lot of sense to really, really walk on eggshells when it comes to these things.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's very important that they get it right. It's very important that they get this right. This is not something they can screw up. This is not something they can screw up at all.
Absolutely. And I mean, outside of the legalities of these things, then you need...
That's true too, because new people to crypto, they want to see 50x, whatever, 100x, 200x, 300x, whatever. Omi's not that. If you want to get into, say, one of these meme coins and pray that it actually happens and it shoots to the moon, you make your money.
Honestly, it's not that Omi is not that. It's that crypto people understand what moves Omi. Because what I personally believe is I think that Omi has a chance of doing way crazier things than Dogecoin or any of these other projects. But there has to be a reason for it. So with Dogecoin and with Cardano and things like that, people don't know exactly what's going to move it and when it's going to move and stuff like that. Like any news, any update could really just make people believe, okay, this is going to be the next thing. Like we got to get in, we got to get more, we got to hold, this is going to blow up. This is like, that's what happens with normal cryptos. With Omi, people know 100% what's going to move this. So when we have that utility in, it'll make more sense to FOMO once that utility's in. Because once they add that utility in, then it's like, yo, this could really blow up at any moment. They could really release a Omi exclusive drop any day. They could release an Omi exclusive drop any day, and it's going to boost Omi. It's going to boost Omi. Like they could literally do a staking Omi. Like they could do staking Omi any day, and it could like give it an incentive to stake Omi any day. Like when the utility is added, then we have a reason to start exploding and seeing these 50x, 200x, and stuff like that. We have a reason for that. The thing is, it's not that Omi is not that type of token. And it is. It's just not that time right now for it to be doing that. So yeah, like people have to understand the biggest catalyst is the utility.
That's fine. I do it. But I do it for one reason. Not financial advice, of course. Just like Dogecoin. Now, I'm not hacking on Dogecoin. It's just I use Dogecoin to make me money to put into Omi.
Yep.
If that tells you anything. But I'm a nobody, So I'm just letting you know how I do stuff. I see Omi long hold. It's going to make me so many gains down the road. It is unreal. So this is why I do what I do. But that's me. Y'all can do you. I'll do me. But I jump in these meme coins just to make some quick cash and to throw it in Omi. Because that's my main. I believe in Omi. I believe in the team. I believe in the whole thing. I believe in Dan. I believe in Rhys. I believe in David Yu.
I think it's easier to believe in these guys because they're so transparent. We understand everything. And that's what people don't understand in the crypto space. All they care about is numbers, what's moving, not what's actually moving it. Like say SafeMoon, like my homie was telling me they got a wallet coming out or an exchange coming, whatever's going on with SafeMoon. They got all this stuff happening when it comes down to SafeMoon. And that's what they're excited about. That's just, they're gambling. You're gambling on the fact that, oh, this exchange is going to be different from all the other exchanges out there. This exchange is going to be a big player. This is it's a lot of gambling being done there. With Omi, no gambling. we know exactly what's going to move it, why it's going to move, and everything on Veve is selling out, which means that if everything continues selling out, then they add more utility. It's not a gamble. It's not a gamble at all. It just takes time for them to put in the things that need to be put in. It's just all development time. All development time and content. These are all systems and creations that need to be created. It's just all about the content.
I believe in the whole team, guys. Alfred Kahn, hands down. That's why I do what I do.
You need the hours. You know, there's a lot of dev time that goes into every single feature, you know, and to go back to localization that we touched on before, right? If we're rolling out a new feature like that, well, then it has to suit all of the languages that we have in the app at that point, or anything like that, right? So I'm not going to say that as the app grows, the development slows down, because really we're moving at lightning pace. For a normal, right? Like the amount of things that roll out. Capture is a perfect example. You know, everyone was kind of yelling for it. A week later, the devs had it ready to go, or at least the first version of it. You know, so yeah, we're definitely not moving slow. We're just, when you're used to things happening in crypto and people are just used to that dopamine hit happening all the time from things moving or whatever. Yeah, there's just a disparity there.
And what's crazy is Veve, you realize Veve by itself is always interesting news. It's always something going on to the point where it's more news in Veve and like than the rest of the crypto space. Like, I mean, the other crypto is always blowing up. It's always exciting there as well. But Veve has a lot going on. It has a lot going on. Like, for Veve to be such a small team doing it by itself, all the stuff that's actually getting done, like people really sleep on how huge and how fast Veve works and stuff like this and how big of an opportunity this is, because Veve is single-handedly like just showing up any other project in the crypto space, like single-handedly. And it's insane to really think about how crazy that is. Like, it's just insane, man.
You know, there's a disparity between the reality of what it takes to implement something and implement something at scale and people's expectations of getting rich in 3 days.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, well said. I mean, I think this is the...
Now I'm going to stop it there because we pretty much heard what Rhys has to say.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to end it here because, yeah, this video is pretty long. But yeah, make sure y'all go check out my man's POORMAN. And basically, what you got to understand is that Veve is doing an amazing job, yo. It's a lot of utility coming, a lot of great ideas we've heard, and a lot of reasons why we haven't been seeing too much movement. Like, they're so transparent. They tell us everything. And that's what you have to understand. Like, the transparency, it's what's hurting the short-term token growth, but it's also what's going to help solidify Veve in the future. So and solidify Omi in the future. So that's why you have to appreciate it. If you really understand what's going to really make you all this money from this investment, understand that this short-term non-movement is what is needed in order to really go up in the future. So yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on notifications. And yeah, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, homies.